Number 1, to find the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a convex 50gon, we use the formula 180 times n, which is the number of sides, minus 360. That'll give us the sum of the interior angles. So n is 50. We take 180 times 50 minus 360, and 180 times 50 minus 360 is going to give us 8,640. Number 3, this is kind of a trick question. It says find the sum of the measures of the exterior angles. Well, remember, the sum of all the exterior angles of any polygon is always 360 degrees. Number 5, they tell us that ABCD is a parallelogram, so we are probably going to need to recall all of our properties of a parallelogram. To find the measure of angle 1, what you can notice is that angle 1 and this 38 degrees form alternate interior angles. So angle 1 is going to be congruent to angle CAD, which is 38 degrees. Number 7, okay, it asks us to find the values of x and y so that the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So we look at our x values and we notice that their angle measures represent opposite angles, and in a parallelogram opposite angles are congruent. So we would set 4x minus 4 equal to 3x plus 23. Solve for x, pause the video and see if you get what I get. Okay, and you should get that x is 27, so we can go ahead and eliminate C and D as answer choices. And now we're going to solve for our y value. If you notice, they once again gave us alternate interior angles, and each angle is represented by 1/2 y, or 1/3 y, and y minus 60. So we would set 1/3 y equal to y minus 60. Now this is a little bit tricky. In order to get rid of this fraction here, we're going to multiply both sides of our equation by the denominator, the bottom of our fraction. So we'll multiply everything by 3. So 3 times 1/3, remember the numerator and the denominator reduced to 1 gives us 1y, and that equals 3 times y, which is 3y, minus 3 times negative 60, which is negative 180. I'm going to subtract 3y from both sides of my equation, so I get a negative 2y equals negative 180. Divided by negative 2, I get a positive 90. Okay, number 9, for this next example, it would be helpful to use your graphing paper to figure out what the coordinates of D is. So they give us A is 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is point A. We have B is negative 1, negative 2. C is 8, negative 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, negative 2. And we're looking for D. So we can do this by kind of eliminating an answer choice or two and see if it even works. So if we use negative 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. This looks like it could work. So we want to count the opposite side lengths and see if they are the same. So if we use this as D, we have a length of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's not going to be negative 5, 4 because you have the length of the two horizontal segments ended up being not congruent. So let's try 8, positive 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, positive 2. Well, clearly that's not going to form a parallelogram just by looking at it visually. Let's try 4, positive 1. I'm going to skip around because this is actually going to end up off our graph, so I have to wait on that one. 4, positive 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, positive 1. And that's not going to make a parallelogram either. So clearly our answer choice is C. But here's how we're going to verify that. If D is 14, 4, that means it's going to be all the way over here, up here somewhere. But remember, the slopes of the opposite sides have to be parallel. Well, clearly this line would be parallel to this line because they're both horizontals. So what we have to do is figure out the slope of AB and see if it equals the slope of CD. And if the slopes are equal, then it's a parallelogram. So we're going to use the slope formula. The slope formula for AB is going to be y minus y. So 4 minus a negative 2 over x minus x, 5 minus a negative 1. So I get 4 plus 2 over 5 plus 1. I get 6 over 6, which is 1. So that's the slope of AB. Now let's find the slope of CD. C is 8, negative 2, and we think D is 14, 4. So I'm going to do y minus y, negative 2 minus 4 over x minus x, so 8 minus 14. So I get negative 6 over 8 minus 14, which is negative 6, which is also a positive 1. So the slopes are equal. So that means that the opposite sides are parallel when the slopes are equal. Okay, number 11, which of the following is true for all rectangles? The diagonals are perpendicular. Well, that's a rhombus, so that's not true for all rectangles. The consecutive angles are supplementary. Well, because a rectangle is a parallelogram, then the consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So this is true for all rectangles. Okay, number 13, it asks us to find the measure of angle 1 in the rhombus. So if it's a rhombus, I have opposite sides are congruent because it's a parallelogram. You're going to have all sides congruent because it's a rhombus. But let's see what it's trying to get at. They gave us this angle is 128. And we know that the consecutive interior angles are supplementary. So this angle G is 52 degrees because of the property of a parallelogram. The consecutive interior angles are supplementary. And what they did is they drew in a triangle here where one of the angles is 90, one of the angles is 52, and we're looking for angle 1. So we would subtract 52 from 90 and we would get 38. Okay, number 17. The length of one base of a trapezoid is 19 meters and the length of the median is 23 meters. Find the length of the other base. So here's what we have here. We have a trapezoid with a median, so that means that this is the midpoint of this leg and this is the midpoint of this leg. One of the bases is 19 and the median is 23, and we want to look for the other base. So remember, the sum of the two bases divided by 2 equals the median. So base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 equals the median, 23. So we cross multiply here and we get 46 equals x plus 19. We're going to subtract 19 from both sides. So we get x is 27. Number 19, the only hint I'm going to give you is that a kite is a quadrilateral. So we need to figure out how many degrees is in a quadrilateral. and then subtract the 130 and the 18 from that, and then see what's left over.